Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Resonance. I'm Mark, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Imagine starting your morning with a smile, knowing exactly what to do step by step. From waking up, brushing your teeth, having breakfast, going to school or work, and coming back home, your daily routine gives structure to your day. And in English, learning the right words and sentences for describing your daily routine makes communication much easier. Today, we're going to explore the most useful phrases and expressions you need to talk about your daily routine, from morning until night. By the end of this episode, you'll feel confident describing your whole day in English. Let's begin with the morning. One of the first things you can say is, I wake up at 7 o'clock. This is simple and clear. You can also say, I get out of bed, or I brush my teeth. Another useful phrase is, I take a shower. For example, I take a shower every morning before breakfast. These short sentences help you describe the start of your day naturally. Now imagine you are hungry in the morning. You can say, I eat breakfast, or I have a cup of tea. For example, I eat bread and eggs for breakfast, or I have coffee in the morning. If you don't eat much, you can say, I have a light breakfast. These are very common phrases and essential in daily conversations. After breakfast, you might get ready for school or work. You can say, I get dressed, or I go to school. Another phrase is, I go to work by bus, or I drive to work. For example, I take the train to university. These sentences make it easy to share your routine with friends or teachers when talking in English. During the day, you may have different activities. You can say, I study English, or I have classes. For example, I have math class at 10 o'clock. Or if you are working, you can say, I start work at 9 o'clock. Another useful phrase is, I take a break, or I have lunch. For example, I have lunch with my colleagues at 1 o'clock. Sometimes you want to explain how you move from one activity to another. You can say, after lunch, I go back to work. Or, after school, I play football with my friends. For example, after class, I study in the library. These linking phrases, after, before, then, help you tell your daily story in order. In the afternoon, you might do something different. You can say, I take a nap, or I go shopping. For example, I usually rest in the afternoon, or I sometimes go for a walk. You can also say, I do my homework if you are a student. For example, I do my homework at 5 o'clock. In the evening, you can describe relaxing moments. You can say, I watch TV, or I read a book. For example, I watch TV with my family after dinner, or I read a book before bed. If you like using the internet, you can say, I surf the internet, or I use my phone. Before bedtime, you can say, I brush my teeth, or I wash my face. Another useful sentence is, I go to bed at 11 o'clock. For example, I go to bed late on weekends, or I sleep early on weekdays. Another important group of phrases is when explaining frequency. You can say, I always wake up at 6, or I usually eat lunch at home. For example, I sometimes go jogging in the evening. Or, I never drink coffee at night. These adverbs, always, usually, sometimes, never, are very useful when describing daily routines. Sometimes you want to explain habits. You can say, I usually exercise in the morning, or I often listen to music while cooking. For example, I usually read the news before work, or I sometimes call my friends in the evening. These sentences show what you normally do every day. Politeness is also important when talking about your daily routine to others. You can use friendly connectors like in the morning, during the day, in the afternoon, and at night. For example, in the morning, I wake up and brush my teeth. During the day, I study. In the afternoon, I study. At night, I watch TV. These make your description smooth and clear. Let's practice some of these sentences together. I wake up at 7 o'clock. I brush my teeth. I eat breakfast. I go to school. I have lunch at 1 o'clock. I do my homework in the afternoon. I watch TV in the evening. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. I usually exercise in the morning. I sometimes read before sleeping. As you can see, describing your daily routine in English is not difficult. Whether it's waking up, eating meals, going to school or work, doing homework, relaxing, or sleeping, these simple sentences help you share your daily life with others. The key is to practice them until they feel natural. You can even imagine small conversations. For example, what time do you wake up? I wake up at 7 o'clock. What do you usually eat for breakfast? I usually eat bread and cheese. Or, another example, what do you do in the evening? I watch TV and then go to bed. Practicing these mini dialogues will make you ready for real conversations. Now imagine talking to your teacher, a friend, or even a new person you meet. If you can say, I wake up at 7, I study in the afternoon, I go to bed at 10, you will feel confident and fluent. A few simple sentences can help you express your whole day easily and naturally. So today, we explored many useful daily routine phrases: waking up, brushing teeth, eating meals, going to school or work, studying, relaxing, and sleeping. We also practice frequency adverbs and time expressions. With these sentences, you can clearly describe your day from morning until night. Thank you so much for joining me today on English Resonance. Keep practicing these sentences every day. Imagine yourself describing your routine in English, and soon it will feel natural and automatic. Every phrase you learn brings you closer to fluency. I'll see you next time, and until then, happy learning and happy routines.